should it be that bright? Shines in my glasses. Ooh, there we go. Wood on me. Oh, all right. I put out the going live thing. I am. Yeah. So much work to do on that thing. Well, not a ton. Some work to do there. Boom, 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 boom. I'd like to see what does this thing do? Oh, nope. Oh, that's how you do that. That's cool. What does this thing do? What's going on, man? I don't want to hit any more buttons. I don't. There's a little thing here. I don't know what that does. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Kart 63. My wife is RV. Not that you're going to hear, but RV's right there. We're going camping tomorrow after work, and she's doing that stuff while I get to do this. But last night, any advice for treaded dirt? Oh, I would say that depends the aggression level of what you want to do. Was it you or somebody else, whoever it was? It doesn't matter. They were asking me about prep on treaded tires. Prep on treaded tires acts the exact same way as it does on a slick, but I would say that careful with internal prepping if you consider doing that because of the lugs. You have much more tread to go through, and there's a low spot, so I'm assuming the base, the indent there, the lugs, the where the grooves are, that level of rubber is going to be like or like a slick. So I'm assuming that if you were to prep from internal, that you're probably only going to get through to that portion, maybe a little bit of the lug. I'm calling the lug. I don't know, the little blocks there. That's awfully thick there. So I'm assuming that prepping internally is not going to have as much effect, or it's going to take twice as much prep. But honestly, this is all in theory because I don't actually know what's going to happen. But I think my idea is correct that if the base layer before the lug, before the little blocks, the blocks are thicker and they're sticking up, that base layer, if you soften that too much, it's going to cause the block to move a little. It's going to soften the rubber underneath the block because it's not going to penetrate that far up in. But if you externally prep on a treaded tire, I'm assuming, because rubber's rubber, that you're going to get the same effects. You're going to be able to drop durometer on the lugs. On the treaded tire, you're going to be able to add bite. You're going to be able to fire off a tire all the same as a slick tire. But the internal it just makes me hesitant. What you want to do there. And I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying it hasn't been done, but I don't know what it would cause it to do if you're just softening that base layer. Like if you put something aggressive internally, the base layer that the tread is actually stuck. I don't have anything. You know what I'm talking about. So this is the slick. Say this is without tread, and then you're going to be having tread sticking up, that far off there. So you got to think that the if you internalize prep on a treaded tire, it's going to soften this portion, and then the lugs are much thicker. It would take a lot more prep to get into the lug from inside out. I'm just not sure what would happen there. I'm assuming that if you went aggressive, it would soften that base layer and cause the logs to move, which may be something that you want to do. Maybe that will find grip there, but it's just in theory. I've never done it. But externally, you can white prep on a tread. It's going to have the same effect. It's going to bite them up or however you see fit. So you're prepping tires. Nice. I would love to, but that race date, I think it interferes. The Northeast Divisional. I don't know who scheduled what first, but yeah, I know the is it the Ron Stevens Memorial? It'd be really cool to come down there. I can do one or the other. Unfortunately, PA is a lot closer than Farmers Track was. I think I looked it up. It's not too bad of a trip. I want to say 7.5 hours. It's not brutal, but also what it comes down to is also a lot because I got an offer to ride along next week to the Warning Memorial Race and run my open. I got a buddy that's going out there, and he says I could throw in with him. The problem is I've only been behind the wheel on the UAS ride once this year, and it's not that I can't go. It's not that I can't compete. I have tires. I'm pretty sure I'd be all right on tires. It's that competitively, I don't have a lot of time on the open this year, so it's just it's a confidence thing. Do I think I could do okay? Sure, but also it's just it's been a minute since I've been behind some horsepower. I would love to go. It's a bunch of bucket list stuff, but it gets towards the end of the year. The problem with the big races at the end of the year is that I'm out of money. I spent a summer racing. I raced local. I did the clone thing, and it burned through all my finances just going to the races. It's fine. I raced maybe a little bit more than I would have in the open, um, but not a ton. And one thing I wanted to bring up before I get into that down here south. Wiper spray. You could do either or. I honestly think spraying might be wasteful, but on a tread it might not because it would permeate more surface area. When you're wiping, yeah, you're going to get the tops of the lugs wiping. So and some's going to drip down over the sides and get the edges. So I think I would preferably do it wiping. I just think it's more controllable. You can spray it on though. You're going to saturate more of the surface area with the spray though. One thing I was going to bring up: the Grand Nationals are happening this week in Tucson, Arizona, and that I hope to catch some of it. I don't know. The problem being is I'm like I said, I'm going camping, so I love going camping. I love I have an RV. My wife is prepping that and all that stuff, but so the the Super Motocross finals is in Vegas. I'm gonna miss that because we'll be camping, and I'll also I have Peacock on my phone. I might not miss all of that. I missed some of it, but then the Bristol Night Race is on tomorrow night. I do have Sirius satellite on my phone, so I'll get to listen to that, but I don't have a way of watching it on my phone while we're there. And plus, I should be kind of in the moment camping with a family and what have you. But there's racing going on, and the Grand Nationals is going on, so I'll have to have race monitor up for that, paying attention to that. There's still racing going on. It's September, but yeah. Yes, that's kind of my thought on that under the block. You don't want to weaken that too much. It could cause damage. That I it just with it being an unknown, I don't feel comfortable telling you to do it. It's just part of the thing. Alabama the grab. Nice. Yes. Very cool. I've never driven a champ cart. I don't even think I've sat in one. I've been in a Micr Sprint one time, scared the ever living bejesus out of me. It was a 600, they said it was funny because I actually found a problem for them. So Paradise Speedway, the big quarter mile we used to run, I got some local friends that ran Micr Sprints for a long time, and they had 600s, and they talked me into going. I was a young driver. I mean, I was within the first probably 10 years of running any kind of carts or anything. I was probably just getting into opens when I did this. But they put me in the 600 after everybody's done, and hey, let me go. Well, I went out and they said I had no problem with the throttle, just wide open, just screaming down this quarter mile. They said when I got to the corner though, I was standing on the brakes because we're used to carts. Carts, they move, but they don't flop. So I wasn't, as soon as I cracked the wheel, the whole roll cage moved. and it freaked me out. So I was really on the binders, kind of nurse it through the corner and then wide back open. And they said they're like, you got no problem with the throttle, but you were burning the brake off, and apparently the rotor was just glowing, which found a problem because apparently they hadn't noticed that it was some dual piston on there that they didn't think they had on there. So it was actually causing, they were like, there's no way it should have gotten that hot, even with me standing on the brakes. So I actually found a problem for that team that they didn't know they had, and I didn't know. I was glad there's brakes. uh Adding heat while prep experiencing that, yes, it will help it permeate faster. It will help it dry quicker. All sorts of good stuff. Heat is your friend if you're rolling internally, which I know you're not. We just discussed that, but I run heat on in my hot box. And if you were to, I know you're not going to use this because you're running treads, but if you use heat, the heat source from the outside helps pull the prep through the inside of the tread more into the tread quicker, faster. Helps it permeate from the outside. If you're warming up a tire, that's why you see people torching tires at the track. You get a tire nice and hot and then apply prep, or apply prep and put the torch to it, called burning in. You're helping that drive that chemical further into the tire so it lasts longer, or it creates a softer tread. So yes, heating in any capacity does help prepping. It helps it, everything I just said, dry quicker, permeate the surface better. So there's that. But yeah, well, I was getting at the Grand Nationals for UAS is this weekend. Really came up on it. Like I didn't. It is always the second or third week in September, and it didn't, because I haven't been UAS racing this year. I haven't been paying attention much to it. A little bit here or there. Obviously, I still love the sport, or love that class, and still want to do it. But I was concentrating on the clone stuff, and I have to do a video, my end of season comparison between my experience in a clone and my experience with the open, and there's definitely differences. But I thought I could put it better into words into a video. I can describe it now, but I'm hoping to, if somebody's looking to transition down, it's not that I ever thought that clones were beneath the UAS, because we're usually considered the sideshow. And I still can say, I say we because I still consider myself an open racer. Still have an open cart. It's sitting right. I'm looking at it right now. I I haven't turned to the dark side or come back from the dark side and joined clone completely. So it's not that I thought anything less of clones. They're just not as fast. And you think, hey, those, they're just bumper tag, and there's a way. It is a completely different experience, and it raises the problems that you have in an open. Things are exacerbated, except for certain things. I think that tires aren't as you don't have to be as spot on with tires with an open. I have never had the tire problems that I've had this year running clone in an open. There's something about having all that horsepower. Yes, it helps. If you get really close on tires, if you're on spot on tires, I mean, it's lights out. You got horsepower and tires nailed. But boy, if you miss on tires in a clone, you are in freaking trouble. And it's really become apparent to me this year because I don't have the tire budget that I once had. I am on older stuff. I'm on 2019 Burs 33s. I'm on 2023 11s that are, somebody previously used them. I bought them used, so previously used them, and then I essentially burned them up this year, running them too many times, running them in double classes because I only had one set. Um, Tires are a very real thing, and I get it. When people would gripe about tires, and I was running UAS. I didn't hear it. Just oh, it's tire game, it's tire game. And I know, I've been a fan of working tires and doing tires and being, making them more competitive. Obviously, using products and stuff. Um, but boy, if you are off on tires and clones, you, it's, it is, it, it's noticeable. Like I sing it down in the corner, and I got, I don't think I'm the best driver out there, but I'm more than capable. I'm more than capable as a wheelman to get around and even work with setup. I'm more than capable of setting up a cart decent and making adjustments to keep up with the track. And everybody misses and stuff, but those skill sets are there. But boy, man, if you don't have it's, I I attribute it to when you're watching NASCAR. I know there may or may not be fans of NASCAR here, but scuffs versus stickers. It is literally that. Like that you got just as much horsepower. Your skill sets there. Everything, and you sing down in the corner, and somebody just goes, "Yeah," and you're like, ah, and it's very noticeable that who has what grip, and whether it's something they did to their tires or age of tires, which seems to be more so my problem. And I'm not whining, I'm not complaining. I urinate with the facility that I have. I pee with the member I have. There's a more coarse term that it goes along with that. I don't say it, but I got what I got. And you what is it? You don't get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Yeah. Anyway, I don't put as much the finances that I probably should or I could into say a tire program. I just haven't had to. So there, it's very real. It's I would say that's it. If you're looking for an analogy, watch NASCAR and see if somebody stays out on old tires versus the guys that take fresh ones. Somebody starting even in ninth with fresh stickers on their car, they just and it's game on. And that's the thing. That's and I talk to people. Hey, what no, you got to have new 33s for this. You got to run. I would say the in that is that the process of Maxis is probably the thing that breaks that up a little bit. If you have if you have a scuffed Maxis from months ago and they've been prepped accordingly, the process that is a Maxis, that's different than say a Burs and having fresh rubber on a Burs. But there's that. All right, I'm done. Let me get back to the 10-4 things. It's like riding a bike. Yeah, we're at it. Alabama. Hitting heat prep. Yep. Um, oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So it sometimes I feel as if my videos, it's easy for me. Like I'm a forever an underdog guy. I like the underdog to compete against the big dogs. And the reason why is because despite maybe my past success in UAS, I am very much the underdog. I think so anyway. And I got the little trailer, and I got the older chassis, and I got the older tires. It's always making do with what I had, but I'm still having fun. I'm still getting in out there, and I'm still learning, and that's and still trying to compete. I don't just throw my hands up and go, I don't have brand new tires. Yeah, great. I don't have brand new tires, and I get my butt kicked. I got my butt kicked this past weekend. Started freaking what I start 7-8 or 7-9 or something like that, and I think I might have finished fifth or sixth. I got by a couple guys that had ailments at the end of the run, but I was able to pass them, and I made some adjustments. It's not always about winning. I know it should be. I know that's why everybody goes there is to win. But I made some adjustments. I found what they did and didn't do. I also made it. So I made some adjustments for the tires I was on, and then I made a quick tire change at the end. I thought I was going to be on 33s. I was prepping 33s pretty heavy, and then the local guy got talking with some of the local guys. They're like, hey, not for nothing, we're on 11. So I went and changed tires. So those adjustments may have helped on the 33s better than they did when I went to the 11s. You would think that just overall grip increased, but there's sidewall flex. There's a whole bunch of determining factors why maybe the adjustments I made weren't proper for what I tire change to. So it's too many changes can be a bad thing. I'm all in favor of taking big swings if things aren't working well. You know, a washer is not going to change how fast you are. Uh, Making major adjustments, 3-4 washers, stagger changes, things like that are going to make some wholesale changes, are going to make a bigger difference, but they could go the wrong way. And I think my wholesale changes probably weren't meant for the tire change as well. So there is that. Um, Say hi to Dustin for sponsoring. Yes. Oh, hello. Hello, Dustin. We were on a small track where we're on the same set of tires all season. Burst is the only option. That's treads. I think you can get away with that. Absolutely. There, there is a very, you know, there's so many video ideas that I would like to do. But there's that very real thing where say I talk about Burs a lot because we run a lot of Burs up here, and you know some of the series or tracks are Burs only tracks. Anyway, running having multiple sets of Burs 33s and change and not running one set more than another. Now, talked to Ben 2 years ago. That's hogwash. You don't know what you're talking about. That was Ben on an open. That was Ben on a UAS ride. Now that I'm on a clone, I can see it. I can see how you can burn up a set of tires running them too hard. I still have my doubts on whether or not you can run them, you know, that you need to run 4 sets of you know Burris a day, but I'd say you know that definitely 2, maybe 3. You know, having a fresh set for the feature. If your intent is to go there and win, and you're competing against other people that have brand new fresh sets, it's hard to overcome fresh rubber sometimes. You know what you're doing to them, you know, prep wise or you know air pressure wise. That's set up. There's so many things to it. But what I once believed to be kind of fooey, um, now that I've run a clone, I can see why people do the things they do. Um, uh, but where I was going with that, with treads, they don't seem to be as susceptible to that. Treads seem to take more abuse, and you don't, or you know, they're not as subject to that failure. That you know, if you run your one set of treads the entire day, they don't seem to have that because they're not as fast in general than a slick is, depending on surface. I want to say that you know, always sometimes treads are faster than slicks. It's on occasion, but sometimes it does happen. But in general, I think they cool better because of the lugs. They also heat up quicker because of the lugs. So you have to be careful of that you can tend to burn them up a little easier because those they stick out more and they can get rollover and stuff. But Hoosier versus Burris, those guys probably don't have much experience. My only I'd say both of them have been around for a long time. I'd say Hoosier are probably used a little more than Burst, but that's just because I've seen Hoosiers on bigger cars or carts, like PA wings. They're oh shoot, I'm losing it. They're just outlaws and stuff like that. They have a tendency to run that, but then again, what is that one track that is going? Are they going to a Maxis tread? Every time I go to think of that dang track, it's I forget. It's down in Carolinas. They run the uh shoot. Somebody think of it for me because every time I go to say it, I forget it. They talk about it on Door Bumper Clear all the freaking time. Drives me nuts. That's where all the NASCAR guys go. Anyway, they run the outlaw carts there, and that I are they on Maxis or are they in Hoosier? I don't know. I want to say Maxis or they're gonna go to Milbridge. Thank you very much. Every time I go to say that freaking name, it never comes out. I gotta get my water. 1 second, guys. I'm one of those people that no matter how much knowledge I store up in here, it could be a childhood. The dude you've been friends with for 30 years. I'm like, yeah, dude. It just won't come out. And yeah, they are Hoosier. Okay. I was curious whether or not it's just. I know that Maxxis came out with the new tread, and I wonder if being a down south track, if maybe eventually some of these treaded tracks are going to go to that. And it's one might wonder what the future holds with the treaded community, with the treaded treads in general, because there is a very real thing. You see it with predators, coming up to where they are, that people want to run stuff that isn't so expensive. It's more affordable. You can run it. Treads, obviously, you can run more. You get into the no prep classes. So there's a real desire for that to happen. Now, on the bigger picture, do I think that the Maximilian, you know, races like that are ever going to go treads? Probably not. Those tracks aren't prepped for that. They're prepped for slicks. They're prepped to be hard, fast. They're prepped to, I think that you would. I don't know the compound that Max's tread is made out of, but I'm guessing that if one were to try to run a Max's tread on a really good track, it's going to burn up pretty quick. Just a theory though, because I don't know. Extra 6-inch rims and there are a lot of used parts for sale now on say Facebook. There's Facebook, marketplace, but there's more whatever region you're in, northeast, southeast, whatever. There's always cart parts for sale. It's unfortunate that but it's with anything. If you try and sell anything around here, is this still available? I was trying to sell my tonneau cover off my truck because I just want a standard one, and I get a, hey, is this still available? And yes, it is. Are you interested? Just ghosted. And it's just like, why would you bother somebody if you have no intent on buying it? So what I'm getting at is, you get on Facebook. There's tons of places to buy stuff like that. But yeah, the rims should be plentiful. I mean, I have rims, but they are old, and I've thrown out a lot of them. I really got rid of a lot of stuff because it was pretty beat up and broken. Um, the newest set of rims I have is the GTRs, because I did a video on them. Those ones, pretty nice. Some people, seem to have a they. I ran the open on them. There's this whole thing. Oh, they lose the bead. I ran the open on them. I ran 2 and 3 psi in the tires. Matter of fact, I ran Reapers on them, and 2, 3 psi on the open at 440 pounds and 70 horsepower, and they did not come off the rim. So I say fooey on that. That the GTR rims are just fine, and they look awesome too. I'm a fan. Maryland, yeah. So Northeast, they're, yeah, just in Facebook or whatever. I don't know if you have Facebook now, but Northeast Cart Parts. I'm on a bunch of them. One thing is, we're on Dirt Kart Racer here, and not that anybody does it here, but I was given orders to not post any for sales, because we didn't want Dirt Kart Racer to become another for sale thing, because they're just everywhere, and there's already a ton of those pages. So again, I just, if stuff's up, it's nothing against anybody. If I see you're trying to sell stuff, it's delete, 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 and they're gone now. I'm lenient on services because it's not just random parts for sale type of thing. I may put a couple in there, but not every time. Just something I thought I'd let you know. Okay. Yeah, we're building. Oh wow. We are building a track at my house just for fun. We'd like your opinion. Snow prep in there. Wow. All right. Oh, that's two different. Okay. So building a. Jeez. See, if you were opening a track for competition, I love Fifth Miles. I think they are a great balance between bull ring and I like faster tracks. Bull rings are great. They're you get up on the wheel and they're wicked. I run a lot on a little, it's a little bigger than a 10th mile. It might be, closer to an eighth. Um, good, exciting race, and it's definitely not a bad kart track size. But I like bigger, faster stuff. I like fifth miles, quarter miles. It's the open. It's because it's still with me now. I have never run a clone on that stuff, so the bigger you go, the slower you feel you go, the smaller you go. So I'd say anywhere from, honestly, if you're building a backyard kart track, I'd yeah, I'd leave a little size there. Definitely bigger than a tenth. Maybe hedge your bets on an eighth, because you can really get some good speed built up there, and it's still exciting. It's when you get the tiny little stuff, you do have a tendency. The reaction time really comes into a thing when you're on a bull ring and somebody gets out of shape, you're into them and this and that. Although it tightens up racing. If you're looking for good tight racing, run a tenth. If you're looking to build up a little more speed and work on things like setup and tires and work out and stuff like that, I think a little bigger of a track helps there. I don't know, just my thoughts on it. Yeah, no, the $400 rate, $400 in race suspension. Yeah, did I see that? That was Milbridge. Somebody just got that. They got whacked. Two people. Their tires came back dirty. Naughty, naughty. Shouldn't have been doing that. And yeah, in order to get back into the series, they had to pay a fine or something like that. I mean, you could always just not ever go again. But if you got pinched doing that, yep. Uh, yeah, I saw that. I couldn't tell you the names, but yeah, I saw that. I was like, "Ooh, somebody got nailed." You know what was going to happen. So that's the one thing that that kept me in UAS was that, with the exception of bodywork rules, with the exception of CCs, which pretty much, it's not saying people don't cheat in UAS, but there's no real benefit to it. I mean, if I make that a 500cc two stroke, first off, I'm not going to be able to hold the damn thing on the car. It's still a 6-inch wheel. It's the same chassis. It's still the same tires and everything. The Rung What We Brung guys, I think, is fantastic. I think it's a lot of fun for them guys. But when you're going to put a Polaris triple on there, first off, trying to get left side weight in your cart to handle, it's not a drag strip. It's, you got to turn. We run dirt ovals. That's been my gripe all along. I love horsepower. I think the Rung What We Brung guys, I think it's fantastic. The snowmobile engines, I think they're great. But there is a point to which horsepower isn't everything. I know it's weird to say that, but Evan C has dominated the past couple years on 150cc two stroke versus 500cc jealous, 500cc, MX 450s, the four strokes. Against, I had a 300cc Bama, and now it's a 270cc Bama against all those monster engines, and he proved that just a little extra horsepower, some setup, and tires will win you championships. To be smooth, to be precise. Uh, Horsepower is wicked. Horsepower is a lot of fun to have, but you go even faster if you get around the corner faster. And it's not that horsepower doesn't matter, because you don't want to get murdered on restarts and stuff like that, and you don't want to get run over, getting into a corner. You want to have enough horsepower there, but also corner speed's king. The more corner speed you carry on an open, same as a clone, the faster you are into the next corner. Straightaway speed it doesn't have to be point and shoot at that point. Nice. Yep. I would I would love to see UAS or Open guys. I know that they run the outlaw carts there, but I would love to see a race at Milbridge for UAS guys. It's the problem is that running during the week um, has a tendency to take most people out of that concept. But I always thought, down in Carolinas, why is nobody really pushing for this? To try and get the UAS on a bigger stage like Milbridge. To, even if you got to run it midweek, getting turnout is going to be a problem for definite. But I would love to see Robbie Yao, Evan C, some of those guys show up middle of the week in front of the NASCAR guys. I know the Outlaw Opens are there, cool, but just seeing seeing what I love, UAS guys zinging around there, I think would be pretty rad too. Uh, it's Milbridge is definitely a somewhere would be really fun to race, kind of a bucket list type of thing. But that's uh, man, I'd like to go down south. It's I could. It's nice here. Obviously, we're a tank top right now, but it's mid September. It's New York. The inevitable is coming. So on the plans for me, and not that anybody cares, but I'll tell you anyway. I might not race until October 12th, and that's the Northeast Division. I really hope it happens. I mean, I could always go down to Farmers, but it's quite a pull to get down there for that. But it is what it is. I mean, if I save up a little bit of money and get to go down to that, but my intent is to run the UAS Open. I gotta get that thing scaled. It's just keep on staring at it because it's been sitting there, kind of doing nothing. I don't know about clone stuff. It's not that I'm over clones, but I've got my butt kicked this past couple times. Pretty good. Although it's cooling down, I can get back on the 11s. I seem to be a little more competitive on the 11s when the track is. And I had that tendency too in the Open when we get our northern grip up here. I got faster when it's cooler, when the grip level comes up. So it's nothing surprise there. Although I drive a slick track pretty good on the Open. I don't know. Maybe I'm just washed up now. It's a real that confidence thing is a real thing. Like I started off the year hot to trot, like, hey, I got this clone thing, man. I won my first race. I mean, yeah, there wasn't a ton of guys at AMS, but I won my first race. I'm like, great. And then the next couple races, I ran a couple doubles and I ran second, third place. I was like, awesome. This is going in the right direction. And then, man, I hit a freaking. Well, I was one of the faster carts this summer up at Adrenaline, I think. Uh, and I didn't get taken. Well, I got taken out towards the end of the race, but I got roughed up and sent back to fifth or whatever. Um, but after that, I really seemed to take I was getting slower, and I was way off the pace this past weekend. I was not happy about that at all. Like I know I tried some stuff, but also it's very it's a it's a bummer. It's not that I thought I was going to jump in a clone and be dominant, but also like I consider myself one of the faster guys. It's just it didn't correlate over to clone racing as good, and we will fall back into that tire thing. That it's I have worked on tires more this year than I ever have in the past years with the UAS stuff. And it's fine. I like working tires. I'm trying to get the whole cutting thing down. That's pretty cool. Just trying different things with the tires and stuff. The problem is I got older stuff. So uphill battle. I'll rectify that this winter. Get some fresh stuff for next year. Uh, I really got to go through if I'm going to continue on the 17 recon. Probably going to have to. Yeah, I got to freshen everything up. I got to get that thing back to good. Um, I wouldn't mind running the scythe though. I could transfer the scythe, back into it. I could turn that into a clone cart and then make the recon the open. Uh, the recon works good, but you know, splitting hairs there. Uh, yeah, I can imagine it's hot down there. Have I ever run asphalt? I've run indoor. That's it. I've run indoor on Coke syrup, but no asphalt. It's almost a bummer too because Genesee Valley Kart Track is a road course and it is the closest kart track to me. It is 15, maybe 20 minutes for me. I'm in Dansville. That is in Avon, New York. But I have people ask me, "Oh, you don't run a Avon?" It's just like, well, it's a road course, so I need a whole nother cart. I need a whole nother tires. I need, I guess people run. I'm sure people run clones there, but yeah. Oh no, there. The one thing about I'm a representative for Track Tech. but I'm not ignorant to the fact that people have their prep programs and they love them. They have the way they like to do their tires and they love them. There's no denying, Pink Magic is a great prep, and a lot of people have had great success on it. There's no denying that Krug Green is not a great prep. Hot Lap, there's all sorts of Liquid Speed. There's tons and tons of great prep systems out there. It's finding one that the track tag says they're the most comprehensive, meaning that no matter what part of the country you're on, they have a prep for you. That's maybe some of the downside to it, or at least people think is the downside when you go and buy, say a Liquid Speed. I'm just grabbing it out of the air. They got four. They have like an internal and then four or something like that, and it's very simple. It's to the point. Pink Magic the same. They got an internal. They have a Reaper prep, and the internal or Reaper prep, and their standard Pink Magic. And people like that simplicity. That's why I tell people that reach out about track tack, and they're like, man, I don't know where to go, and it's almost to the detriment that there are so many things, but they all work on different things. I mean, blue tire wash, obviously, this is a great internal. I don't use that external so much. That sometimes can be used to cut stuff. They're they have so many options. I think people may get a little confused. That's why I offer, like, hey, don't go crazy. If you're new to the prep, if you just want the basics, get yourself some orange, get yourself some better goat pea if you got a soft track, black sand if you're dry and dusty. 3 pots. Try and use those. And then if you're not finding that that's doing it for you, I can offer some other options. But that's I don't wish that there was less track tag because I like that option for whatever surface you're on. If you're in the Midwest, maybe you want some, diamond, some rough cut diamond that works really good out in the Midwest. And matter of fact, I could use some here. I don't think I have it. Do I think I have rough cut diamond. Anyway, there's been a couple times that type of product would work here in the Northeast. But yes, back to that I don't fault anybody for running other stuff or liking other props. I get it. What works for you works for you. Uh, just here to, if you like to change up, if you want to, try something, there's, there's other options out there, but I get why people like what they like. They run what they run. I think it's great. I'm so glad that I stopped Maxis racing over run Reapers now. I Some people love them. Some people hate them. I don't love them or hate them. I'm in between, but I'm in a part of the country where they don't. I won't say perform the best. They're a little harder to get a hold of the surface. Now, I talk about this all the time, and eventually I'm going to have to do a video on here. First year running Reaper. What are my thoughts on that? I have heard everything from they like to be thinned out, they don't like prep, to saturate them. Absolutely lay the prep to them and they will bite. And I haven't had any luck dropping durometer on them. Some people have, and they've got them to stay low. Like I got mine below 52 durometer. I got them high in 40s. I'm like, cool, that's, I'm on the right path. And then they sat a couple weeks because that race didn't happen. And I checked them again and they were 52, just right back up. And I was just like, dang, man. I was even, I was really aggressive with those. At least I thought it was. Building a bunch of bite on them. From what I gather as a whole, Reapers, they like heat. They like to get warm, and that's when they bite the best. That's probably now whether you do that with prep chemically, whether you do that with thinning the tread out. There's multiple ways to get heat into the tire, but from what research people have talked to, my experience is the longer they ran for me, the hotter they got, the faster they got, and I've heard that from multiple people now. How you get to that point chemically, the thinning out the tread, air pressure wise, there's so many ways to get to that point, but that's uh that's what I found. Why is there a face behind you? A face? You talking about these? My son drew those. Just trolls or whatever they called. Uh, he was being goofy, drew them on there, and I love my kid, so I just didn't take them off. Uh, that's a Beard Octane logo. If not, you're just trying to scare me. I'm out here at a barn all by myself. Don't freak me out, man. I was like, face behind me. Where? There's face over here. Where'd he go? Oh, he's Mark Martin over there. He's looking on. Oh, I could talk about that a little bit too. Hold on. Let me check over these. Not for the mix. Okay. Former retired Phantom drag. Awesome. I love KT100. I was so bummed that my local track closed because that was a staple at Paradise Speedway. Was the KT100 class. It it was so much fun. I went 10 for 10. That was my claim to fame. The last I won the very last KT100 race that was held at Paradise Speedway, Geneva, New York. It might have been a money race. I think it was 100 to win or something like that. But I went 10 for 10. So I took that year off of UAS racing. Just kind of getting away from UAS just a little bit. Just tired of the travel. Nothing against them. Just tired of the travel. So I decided they're a little over an hour away from me. So every other week, I told my wife, "Hey, let's plan stuff every other week. Every other week, I'm going to Paradise," and I was able to run 10 races at Paradise, and I won every single one of them. 17 Recon that I'm on, run with a clone, and KT100, and I had a freaking blast. I almost didn't win one of them, and it was looking bad. It was a very dense, thick night, summer, humid. Well, two strokes, they they don't like that stuff, and you have to tune them. So I went out, and that man, it was way too fat, and I thought I had it set right, and I went out, and I was getting smoked. I think I got beat in the heat race. I took off in the feature, and same. I was just somebody had crashed. I think maybe they flipped. I don't know. Anyway, I reached over, almost lost the engine, twisted in my low speed needle under caution. It quit for a second, opened it right back up, reset my settings. Unbeknownst to me, my temp wire, you run head temp on those things, and broke. So it was blinking at me the entire time, or not blinking, or not doing anything. I had no idea that it was running hot, or even I had no idea what the temperature was. I don't know how hot it actually got, but I hit it when I reset it. I set it to what I thought was a bunch leaner than what I had come onto the track with, and it went just rocking it right back up the front. Ended up winning the race. Didn't think I was going to win it. It was great. That was like midsummer or whatever, and came in, and I got it back up on the stand, and I picked up the top wire. I was like, whoo, that was really close. Like that can. There's no sicker sound in the world if you're a two-stroke racer than going, oh, like just that's the end of that. Like you need a piston, buddy. Yeah, yeah. I Sedam's another second favorite engine right behind KT. Whenever I ran a Sedam for lots of years. What's going on, Max? It's funny you say Big Ben. Not that big. It was funny. I went down to Hunterstown last year for the Grand Nationals, and I do these videos. Your perception of me might be that I'm a little bigger of a human being. Yes, I'm about 218 pounds right now. I hit 220 at the beginning of the week. Oops. Anyway, I'm only 5'9". I'm not a large dude. I'm average looking dude, but the guy I came up and I was standing there. He's just like, man, you look a lot bigger on screen. I'm like, "Ooh." I don't know if that's a good or bad thing or just an average size guy, I guess. But I just saw that Big Ben. I did chest today. Lots of dumbbell presses and incline presses and cable flies. And yeah, I love chest day. It's my favorite. Um, just pushing heavy crap is fun. My son bags on me pretty bad because he lifts weights too. Bags on me pretty bad about leg day. So I finally, all right, fine. At least once a week, I'm hitting legs and I'm hitting them pretty good. Getting my squats down and started throwing deadlifts in there on leg day to get the hammies. And I can't say that I hate it anymore. I still don't like it, but I don't hate it anymore. Uh, yes, absolutely. And it's what's funny is with the clone racing, I don't say it's a bad thing to have this much weight. Obviously, I did the video on too much left side weight. It can be a problem, depending whatever. But as soon as I get in that open, that thing does not care. It doesn't. I have put a whole bunch of weight on that thing before to balance out and do this and that. I've rolled across the scales at 460 pounds. Does not care. Just rockets off the corner. Now I try and keep it as light as possible. And some of the things I have said before that I want to play around a little more with setup on the open because I do believe I just got off at some point. At some point, I am doing something wrong and it doesn't like it. I think too much nose and too much left. Kind of like the clone. I think that because I run on these northern tracks, I think I could use a little less left. And I think I was running super high left, just really leaning the seat over, thinking that I needed to run high cross. I needed to run high left. Now, my experimentation with these tracks up north is that you don't always have to run that super high cross stuff on these northern tracks. You also don't need that super high left. A little lighter on the left side, getting more to the 56, 57% left. Does the worlds of good for side bite up here because of the surfaces that we run. But in the open, like I said, the 225, that thing don't care. That's the definitely one of the benefits to running an open is that once you mash the throttle on even 50 horsepower, it doesn't care. It's like, let's go. I do miss it. I really do. And hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, I got some camping and family stuff going on. Camping and family stuff, but hopefully, maybe I'll get behind the wheel again. Uh, before the 12th. Well, so my back on the gym stuff here. Not that you care, but I'll say it anyway. My son and I were doing boxing and a little mixed martial arts stuff. That's how I got into lifting. Anyway, they got two fighters, amateur fighters, fighting up in Rochester, New York, and I might go to that the 6th, maybe. I haven't seen those guys in a long time. We did that for 3 years and became really good friends with the guys. Just haven't had time yet to get back up and work the bags and do all that stuff. Ethan, my son's been college, girlfriend, work, so it's tough for us to get there. But yeah, you're more than welcome, Mr. Walker. Try and help as much as possible. I really do. I have a problem. I don't have a problem. What was the term from before? Cobb was was that Cobb? Maybe I fall a little bit under that moniker from before. Uh, I don't like it. It's people that have less than the elite drivers, and I hold no ill will against the elite drivers and the guys who have money and can spend money on racing and everything. I hold no ill will, but I do. I enjoy being one of the people who have to fight for everything we have and work on things. And that's a lot of the videos come from that point that you may not have what others have. Where can you find speed in your stuff that may not just be given to them? And again, I'm not knocking them. More power to them. If you have the money and finances and people to help you to make you as fast as you are, I think it's fantastic. I just want to elevate everybody else the best I can by assisting them in this, in kart racing and those little secrets, or even not even secrets, making your mind work and think about, hey, what if I try this? Hey, he mentioned this. What if I tried the opposite of that? Maybe he said that less stagger would hurt me. Maybe it will help me. It's making your mind work, not just, here's the numbers, put the numbers on it, run these tires. Uh, I don't find fun in that. I find fun in adjusting chassis. I find fun in manipulating tires. I find fun in, contemplating outside of what I've been told. Now, is it always the case? Again, with the tires, that I found, very, very quickly that tires and clone races is a very real thing, and not have them, and it's an uphill battle. Is it a battle you can't overcome? Absolutely not. There's some speed to be found somewhere, and everybody should look for it. Just because you don't have money, don't have the amount of tires somebody else has, doesn't mean you should stop trying. You should say, the underdog story works so good because occasionally the stars align, and then you beat the bigger guys, and then you have something to really hold your head up. Like, yeah, man, this is, I made that work when all was against me. I made that work. I love that story. Everybody I think can get along with that. Yes, yeah, that's a very real thing too. Being on the track and being in the track. I should do that. That's a video. Matter of fact, I have to record a video tonight because I'm going camping. I could scroll through my list of things I could talk about. Um, could be that. Maybe that'll be the video. Being on the track or being in the track. I'll forget it by the time I go to make the video, though. What was that idea I had? I can't even think of Milbridge half the time. I'll have to put up another video. Again, there's no lack of my ideas for videos. I just sometimes I like to reach out to the viewing people and ask, what videos would you like to see, soon, or sooner. Um, and obviously I can't do them all sooner. That's not a thing, but I do like to, get out there and, not just go from where my brain is at the time. I've done it's fared pretty well, but occasionally, um, I like to, I like to put feelers out there. Hey, what do you want to learn about? And the problem is not everybody's seen every video I have, so I have to kind of like, oh man, I already did a video on that. But my opinions have changed since I've been running the clone, so maybe things have changed. Frickin', I've done three of those. What's in your trailer videos? I didn't realize I had done three of them until I went looking. I was like, oh, I guess this is number three. I guess we're doing this again. Somebody had asked. They're like, hey, how about another trailer video? I'm like, okay, I'll do a trailer video. That's fine. It turned out pretty good. Um, yeah, but sometimes I'll be sitting here. This is last week's video. Still up on the board. Uh, Sometimes it's just a whim. I'll be sitting inside. I'll come up with an idea. I'll come out here and I'll shoot the video and I'll go in and edit it, and that's that. I don't have like a. I'm not super professional when it comes to making videos. I just kind of do what I feel is necessary. What's on my in my brain, or if I'm lack there of a idea. I scroll through my phone, and I've done a lot of topics, so I try not to trip over myself doing the same ones. But yeah, yeah, it's tough. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. The economy is number one. When things are rough, things like karting suffer, and then it that's a generalization, there. But what I don't like to see is when fingers start getting pointed in different directions. Oh, it's this fall, it's that fall. It's just like you're looking for a boogeyman, and the boogeyman is kind of his whole. When people have extra money, when they have disposable income to go and do fun things, they tend to do that. They're willing to do that. But when you're worried about paying your mortgage, when you're worried about how much groceries are, stuff like that, karting is one of the things that we're into, that we love, and it suffers. It's I just My only thing that really bugs me is when people start pointing fingers. Oh, it's the promoters, it's the track owners. They're at you. It's too much cost at the gate. Which is some of the stuff is relative. Some of it, maybe some of the prices, don't have to be as high at the gate. But then again, nobody that's you're asking people to do stuff for breaking even or free. I know a promoter too, and I know that there ain't a crap ton of money. There's a perception that sometimes that track owners make a steal on people's entries and stuff, and it's not. Once you pay for insurance, what you pay for your people to work there and have food and this and that, there's very slim margins on being a promoter, being a track owner, being this and that. No, nobody's getting rich being a in karting. Uh, it's just unfortunate all around. I just hate finger pointing. It bothers me. It's just like we're all suffering. We're all there's a reason why I don't have brand new tires. Stuff's expensive. I don't have that much money. My money goes towards my family first, not into tires. It's to the detriment of my racing, but sometimes things suffer. It's just I just God man, that pointing fingers thing just bugs me. Oh, it's this fall, it's that fall. It's like be understanding. Try and be a little more understanding about the situation that a lot of people are in. That's why I think the predators have come up. It's a cheaper form of racing. It's something that you know it's tough. What I got? Yeah, and by the way, I was going to mention to Walker there that I race by myself. I don't. I don't have help. I have electric lift. That's my help. I start my own engine. I do everything myself. It's been that way for a long time. I used to load my stuff into a '01 Caravan and go to the races because that's what I love to do. That's what I love racing. So it's there's even if there are financial hardships, if you really love racing, if this is what you do, you will find a way. We always do, even if it's downgrading, if it's going to something like a Predator instead of a clone. It's if you're not running an open, whatever it is, if you're a racer, you find a way to race, and you pee with the PP you have. I need to find a different term for that because I can't swear on this channel. Because it clean loss. Yeah, that's an open can of worms, Tyler. Uh, because it's track dependent, it's tire dependent. It's what the cart is doing. So, yeah, my general thing is I play with camber more than I do caster. I typically stay with factory settings for caster, only because the simple. I'm lazy. I don't want to do the. I don't want to get into what it's going to do. The cart manufacturer's done the work for me. They have a suggestion. Does that mean you can improve on it? Absolutely. Does it mean you can disimprove? Is that a word? On it? Yes. That you can also screw it up really bad. If you get too much split in there, you can cause things to go awry. You can make it, jack too soon or not get over in the right front. So I tend to leave caster alone just because of that simple fact. They recommended this. They say it works the best. Cool. Work. I play with cambers way more. Start moving those up and down. For instance, the more tipped up, the more it's going to run a roll over. You tip it down, you keep it on the ground. It's not going to want to plant. Or that tire's already planted on the ground. It's not going to do that. Short track, late model type of thing. Just little things like that. If you want it to get onto the right rear quicker, tip your left front tire down just a tick. As soon as you crack the wheel, that tire is pinching to the ground. It's loading your right rear. Things like that. But yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to make a million and race and start with two. That ain't no joke. That's pennies on the dollar. I mean, I know what the Bamas, what Walt purchased the Bamas, and I have skin in the game. I sold off my open my sedan and everything in order to purchase some of the Bama stuff. But I saw the bill on those Bamas on the 250 and 270, and it's expensive. And if I were to sell that engine, I mean, there's probably the power valve system on is probably, if I were to buy it brand new, it's probably 8 grand, 8,500 grand, 8,500. $8,500 $8,500. If I'm just sell that engine package, I'd be lucky to get four out of it, maybe five. I doubt it though. Probably half for an open engine. So this it can sit right there. Even if I'm not running it, it can sit right there because that's yeah, no thanks. And plus I love it too much. It's fun. Finding sponsors is tough. You're absolutely right. Yep, that's and no, no sponsor. Don't ever let the even little bits help. That everything helps, and give them their what are the kids say flowers? Give them their flowers. If you're doing social media stuff, always tag it. That's know that you are appreciative, even if it's a little amount. Honestly, I have one paying sponsor. They're there. These are the people that support me, but I have one paying sponsor, and it's sitting right there. And well, honestly, all you guys, when you guys watch the ads, uh, that helps this guy race. Uh, other than that, that's it. I have a platform, and if I was more savvy, I could push my platform to gain myself more. It's tough because I'm not wired that way. I don't like asking for anything. If something's offered to me, I think it's fantastic, and I'm more than willing to accept it. Believe me, but I'm not somebody like, hey man, please, can you help? I get it. It's very tough. It's hard to sell yourself out there. And I believe, I do have a platform that I could make it viable, why you might want to support me. And I would support you in turn, but I don't have it in me. I'm not that business savvy. I'm a worker bee. Um, it's how I'm wired. Yeah, yeah, it's being yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the electric cart stand. I mean, it helps a lot. Not having to ask anybody for help. The payment 70, the base Bama 250 when it was initially bought was $7,200 shipped. Now that's a board out 270 plus the electronic power valve, which adds 50, 7,200 shipped, something like that. And then the power valve system's like 1,100 or $1,200 added on to that, plus the big bore. Although we exchanged the one cylinder for that, so it was the kind of yeah. It's yep yeah. It's tough. Yeah. I want to say we sold a standard Bama. We did the 300 was a little more. Was it 59? We see even that the Bama 300 that we had. I think we sold for like 5,900 bucks, something like that. Great running engine, just unnecessary for me to have two. Just me and one. I like to have backups, but also not as much as Walt was getting out and time to cash back in a little bit. But I kept the one. It'll be good. Yep. But I 68. Yeah. I've been on here for 68 minutes. I appreciate all anywhere from 20 to 23 of you. I keep on, I keep tabs on there. But my wife, we are, like I said, we're going camping tomorrow. We got to go to the grocery store and buy a couple little things. I got to just do some stuff. I got to shoot a video. So much to do tonight. I really do appreciate everybody coming by. At first I was like, man, I'm not sure I can hold an hour, just talking in general. But it seems to not be a problem for me. If you guys are here, you guys are engaging with me. I really enjoy Thursdays now. I like this, and backing it up to 7:30 helps me a lot. It just takes a little pressure off. Like I said, I work out after work, and it was getting real tight there to try and make the 7 o'clock. So 7:30 works a lot better for me. I appreciate every single one of you coming by. This is fun for me. Thursdays are fun, and I was curious how I'd do on live streams. It's been fun. But hey, as long as you guys show up, I'll keep on doing this. I think it's a riot. If I can help you, you guys help me. It's great. He Wesley has been busy. He just says he is entirely busy. He does business deals and buys and sells and does this. He's an entrepreneur. What I am not, he is, and it's unfortunate, But yeah, I I'd like to have him here, and maybe eventually Wesley get back to it. But for the time being, it'll be me until maybe I'll have a guest on here sometime. But till then, it's just me. All right, guys. I thank you very much. I keep watching the videos, and any questions, always emails there, messenger, all that stuff. I try and get back to everybody in a timely manner, but yep, Mama's gonna strangle me if I don't get off here. I will see you guys in the video on Sunday, and then next week we'll do this again. All right, later, guys.